All right, fellas. Merry Christmas.
I guess, Coach, we'll start tale of two halves. First half pretty close. Second half a lot better performance, maybe, or just you just started to take over the game. What was it?
Well, it's not always about you sometimes. Sometimes it's about them. They came at us like banshees, man. They were everywhere running and into it. They're fired up, and we missed some shots that weren't as clean. I think the speed, it took us a while to get up to the speed that they were playing. And then, what we do is what we do. And it started taking over the game.
Was it important to get a challenge like that? I know you get a few days off for the holidays, but they really were a better team maybe than their record indicates.
Well, they were, and they played some tough games. They're picked second in their conference. Wright State was picked one. Ohio was supposed to compete for the MAC. Toledo was supposed to be top of the MAC. Who else we played? Got one other. Charleston was supposed to be solid in their league. So we've had a real good test for the preseason. Now we got to go out and uh, get ready for the meat of the program, which is the conference. But it's always good to get tested in some ways. Sometimes if you look around, it's always good every now and then you have one that's just you win. It's just doesn't press you as hard. And if you look at schedules, the Kentuckys or the Dukes, they'll always have two or three where they can, pretty much coast a little bit. You don't want to coast a lot. You just don't want to be pressed all the time. This team pressed you, and we had to gear up to a high level. They're well coached, and they play hard for their coach. And I think Doc said it best with our team. If you get people playing hard for you, that's what you do as a coach. And they play hard for him, and they came out. And they tried to take his W down with them, and our kids stepped up. They made a lot of shots. Our shooting was good. David Early came in and hit 3 threes. I've been waiting for that because he never misses in practice. So I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know when. Michael Byers, of course, had a good game. Jansen would have, but got in foul trouble, and then the game was kind of got out of the way a little bit where he's not as needed as much. But steady Eddies, those guards, 3 of them, and I know Andy is not scoring with them, but their effect on the game as a group, all 3 of them who handle, defend, is tremendous. And one of these days, Andy's offensive game will catch up with everything. He'll just relax and let it come. It'll happen. But I was happy for him that he can get a win, a good win, and take it in through the Christmas time and holidays.
Dan, look at the second half, and it just looked like the ball moved a lot crisper. It was a lot more decisive. It seemed like there was no hesitation too in the second half, and I think 12 assists to 2 turnovers before a few turnovers late in the key part of that second half. Was that the best you all have looked offensively in the early part of this season?
Well, they force you into being sharp because if you aren't, you're going to look really bad. They sub a lot and they play at a high speed. I think so. I think part of it too is, you can only go at 200 miles an hour or 10 miles over the speed limit before the cops catch you, or 20, I should say 20. You never get caught for 10, but 20. And it catches up with you. And then if you're just a step slow or you can't quite get where you need to be, then ball starts moving. And we hit shots. We spread them out. When you spread them out, I think Mike and Early they pressed and they got in the corners. It's hard to get out there, and they made their shots. When that starts happening, it's tough to keep that dauber up and running 100 miles an hour when you keep running into a brick wall. And I thought we did a good job of spacing the floor and then making shots that really they make. I mean, this is not something they played over their head. This should be something they can do 95% of the time.
You look at the end of that first half, and Jared went on a little spurt. You all were kind of quiet offensively, had a few mistakes here and there, and you're staring at the deficit last 2 minutes. But seemed like Jared got back in the game, scored 5 quick, and you all went to the locker room with the lead, and that flipped the mentality a little bit.
Well, Mark Klein always talks about it, and it's true. And Mark does a lot of the offense in practice, running our pick and roll drills and things. And he kept telling them, fellas, you got to set your picks earlier. They got to be, you can't wait, let them set, and then come back and get the pick. And we started toward the end of that half, our bigs started hunting picks a little sooner, which means that when Jared comes off, they're not as set to help and do the things they do to stop a pick and roll. And that's when he got loose a little bit. And I think as we went through the game, we got a little bit more and a little bit more of that. And then pretty soon you hit a few, and Tavion came out of the corner with a alley-oop. And pretty soon it's tough for defenses to stay at that elite level when you're getting hit from all parts of the floor, and from lobs to threes to drives to passes. And we have a team that can do that. And we just have to keep honing our skills. And hopefully we're going to be solid in conference play and try to get better all the way up into tournament time.
What do you like the best about Tavion's offensive game this year? It seems like, every time we look up, he's over 50%. His turnover ratio is better than what it was last year. And it seems like he's more in command of that aspect of his game.
Well, you can talk about his play all you want, but the demeanor he plays the game with, the focus that he plays the game with, the sharing. I mean, even though he scores up around 20 with always 10 or less shots than what he scores. And he's just efficient, and he has the athletic ability, he has it under control. He doesn't let his speed get out away from him. He's a smart player, a smart young man, great student here at Marshall. I mean, what can you say? He's got stats. 7'2" guy gets dump offs and offensive rebounds. He's got to hit their type of offensive high percentages.
Coach, what's the way too early scout on La Tech? I know way too early, but what's your early impression?
I think I got my wife's present and my sister's. I'm not sure if I have my sons and daughters yet. Is that what you're talking about? Because after Christmas, I'll start worrying. I don't even know what's going on after Christmas until Christmas is over. So, they're going to be a good ball. I'm just give their history. They're good at home. They got a returning coach. They're athletic. They're always athletic. And then I'll start watching tape on the 26th. And I got plenty of time to figure out, what we're going to do. And hopefully we're going to be ready. I told the kids it wouldn't hurt them maybe on the 24th to go out and run. Maybe just get a mile and a half in at not a heavy pace, but a decent pace, and they'll get in and shoot. I can't keep them out of the gym. They all like to get in the gym and shoot, so won't have any problem with that. They'll come in and shoot a little bit, and then we'll have the Vu will get the tape set. And I don't know whose game it is, whether it's Scott's or Mark's or Corny's again. I don't know what's going on after Christmas yet, but one of those guys will have the clips ready. We'll look at them, and we'll get into this odd playing conference where you're back to back with the same team, and should be interesting. We'll see what happens.
Coach, for you, you see this team trail at certain points this season, trailing early in the first half, and you come into the break with the lead, and then kind of carries in through the second half. That resiliency, I know you did it against Wright State, did it against a couple other teams. The ability for this team to come back and have that ability, how important do you think that will be down the stretch, and how important was it to see it tonight?
Well, all it is just staying focused and playing hard the whole way. And we play a type of game with a lot of threes and kind of wide open with ball movement that they're going to be runs, and they know that. And most of them have experienced it. I mean, this is not like the first year this has happened. We've made comebacks ever since day one when I got here, because that's the system we employed. It's not for the faint of heart as a coach if you live and die on every play. And I don't, because I trust their play. And I trust who they are as people. I know they're going to give me their best shot. So as a coach, you stay focused. You try to help them as much as possible. And then it's up to them. They got to go out and win ball games. They take control of their team. All I do is monitor. And now I'm a pretty good monitor. I don't let things go that can't go. I step in when I have to. Fortunately, with the players I got, and I don't really, they take care of themselves. And, we talk about it in general as a team. We have meetings and we'll talk about life, how you handle yourself as a person, and that you're seen through basketball, but you're seen in my eyes as a person, not a basketball player. And it's all about how you conduct yourself, the effort that you give, the work, the daily work that you can produce, the teammate and the camaraderie that you provide. And, that's why I love coaching. I mean, I can't tell you, again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. My daughter said, "Hey, Dad, you're a one-trick pony, but it's a good trick." So it looks like I'm going to be able to carry that trick all the way to the very end when I sit up on top of my hill up there and sing, "Oh, those West Virginia hills, how majestic and how grand." And maybe I'll ask Chuck to come up and have a snip or something. I don't know. That might be a little far out. I might ask Chuck.
One more question, if you guys got one.
I think we're good, Cody.
Good.
Hey, Merry Christmas to everybody, and hope all's well with you.